Good morning, and welcome to Vibe Talk Facing the Lion. We are a podcast that talks about feelings. We learn how to manage, talk about, and cope with our feelings and emotions. I want to thank you for joining me this day of April 18th, 2023. Thank you so much for joining us. You want to catch our streams? Join us on your favorite podcast listening. Good morning to Zoniac. Good morning and welcome to our podcast. Good morning. What state are you all listening in from? Please and thank you. Good morning to all audience. This is Vibe Talk Facing the Lions. From Texas, we have an audience member here from Texas. Good morning and welcome. Where are the rest of you from? Please and thank you. Montana. Great. I'm hoping that you all will stay and listen to our podcast all about feelings and emotions for me and my co-host. Good morning.
Good morning.
We are talking about how we're... Oh, so sweet. Our audience member says, I'm working, so all I can do is listen and stay. We'd love to have you. I guarantee you'll want more. The information for you is right on our inspiration today about evolving. You can find Vibe Talk Facing the Lion just by searching in your Google search, or you can go directly to Facebook and like and join our page. Every time we come on, you'll be notified. Don't forget to click follow. And we're streaming on your favorite podcast, wherever you're listening. What are you all thankful for this morning as we begin our morning topic? What are you all thankful for? I'm thankful for spring. Not thankful for the allergies, but I am thankful for spring. What are you all thankful for? By the way, this is an interactive podcast. We want to thank you for joining us as we are dealing with our feelings and emotions. To my co-host, what are you thankful for this morning?
This morning, I'm thankful for that tomorrow is my birthday.
Okay. And how old are you going to be?
22.
Alrighty. My oldest is 32 today. So, he is maturing as I'm maturing. Notice I didn't say older. So, to our program. We're going to talk about evolving. And by the way, I have an announcement. We have not officially met about this, but we are moving to the 6:30 hour beginning next week. You will get the same impact. We will be on for 1 hour. Why? Because I think that our podcast is very powerful and impactful. We have put a lot into Vibe Talk. And so we're branching out. 6:30 we will be moving to California time. I don't know what time it is in your town, but California's time will be 6:30. And I'm sure your time will be what, 9:30, Trish? Is that your time?
Yes.
Yeah. And in case you guys didn't say where you're from, I see some guests are from Montana, Texas. We have a new notice. And I want to talk about this for a moment as you guys are listening, if it's your first time. We're here 3 days a week. 2, for sure. We ask you the question, what state are you from? So as you notice, just put that in. Why do we ask you that, Trisha? Why do we ask our audience what state they're from?
We ask that because we hashtag your state when we post the videos, because we want this to be worldwide around the globe so everybody can listen and get the motivation that they need.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that, my amazing co-host. And as you know, what will start happening now is we will put our information on our inspirational quotes. So that way you can go ahead and look us up. We're also going to include our direct connect. So if you have any questions, you can always type in. Tricia, if you will go ahead and put that information in. Our direct connect is 661-503-8993. You can leave us a message or speak directly to Vibe Talk Connect. Mimi, good morning and welcome. We're so glad that you have joined us here at Facing the Lion podcast. We're talking about evolving. How many of you know what to evolve means? Anybody in here?
I do.
Trish, you want to tell us what evolving is? And the audience members can join us. You can type in, you can call in, whatever you want to do. This is interactive. This is your podcast set up for you. Go ahead, Trish.
Evolving means a change. Basically, it's a change.
Yeah, changing from something into something. We hope that you all are working on that. Yesterday was Motivational Monday. Today is Transformation Tuesday. We're going to be talking about how your evolving changes your life. How many of you would say you've changed, and how so? Anybody? I've changed.
I have.
Yeah. The way that I've changed is that I've always been straightforward, but I'm also able to now say exactly the emotion that I'm feeling. Exactly how I'm feeling. Why is that? Because if no one knows how you're feeling, how do we connect? How do I connect to myself, more importantly? How have you changed, Trish, and the rest of the audience members? Go ahead and use your chat box. You can also call in as well. How have you changed?
I've changed similar to what you said, but I'm not a straightforward person. So the way that I've changed is I actually say how I feel without trying to put it on a silver platter and cover it with glitter, trying to make it look pretty. And I've changed in saying what I really mean and how I really want to say it.
Yeah. Vibe Talk has helped me as life coach and human to be able to do that. I learn as you all learn. By the way, the second thing on the notice, if you're here for the first time, please respect the space of others. When you see somebody that's in here, allow them to feel comfortable as they will. So by that we mean don't speak out to the other guest. If you want to join in the conversation, don't address them. Just kind of keep it where everybody can comment on it. Okay? Let's respect each other and give each other grace and honor. I found that while we have been doing this podcast for 2 years, that so many people are different. Let's not assume, because if you're here for the first time, then you know how you feel. You're curious. You want to know what's going on, what the podcast is all about. You don't know anybody in here. So let's treat ourselves. Let's treat others the way that we want to be treated and not pounce all over them. We're going to be talking about evolving. How do we evolve? Trisha gave us a nice definition of that. As we start today, I'm going to read to you something that I think is a really good thought about hope. And this is what I'm hoping for all of you. Just one moment. I hope that you all do this, including myself. Tuesday is a day that we think about changes. We think about how we're different from the way we were before until now. What we had to go through. Here's a thought. I hope you learn how to let go of everyone's opinion of your life. I hope you start to see from a place that lives deep within you that there is, there is feeling to live a life. I cannot see this. I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you learn how to let go of everyone's opinion of you, your life. I hope you start to see from a place that lives deep within you that there is no universal correct way to live a life that is solidly your own. Every human being has different goals, has different concepts of what happiness looks like. Everyone has a different voice of what it truly means to be alive. And because of that, people will judge you. The world will try to change you, but you must continue to move in your own direction. You must continue to go at your own pace, because if you allow for that to alter your path, you're going to end up living someone else's life. I hope you learn how to make your life your own. I hope you learn how to make your time here something you are proud of. I want to leave you with that Motivational Monday, which was yesterday, that thought. There is hope. Beyond what you all may be going through, what I may be going through, there is hope. There's more of it. And that's what I'm hoping for you all. Vibe Talk has done its footwork. And you know what? I'm not done yet. Are you done yet, Trish?
Nope.
I'm not done. It has opened up a way for all of us to be able to connect with ourselves, because the more that you connect with yourself, the more that you are connecting with others. You must learn how to connect with yourself. We have quite a conversation today, and I want to help you to appreciate what that looks like for you, or what it should look like for you. I'm going to say to you some words, and with these words, we're going to form a project. Usually we use this for Wednesday Wellness, and it will be still used for tomorrow. I want you to paint, color, draw what this looks like for you. So instead of words, you're going to use word picture. You're going to draw. Ready? Emerge. Draw what that looks like. Mature. Get along. Blossom. Ripen. Advance. Unfold. Grow. Develop. Progress. Proceed. You see, all of the root meaning of these words stem from evolve. Now, how you're going to create those words is going to be totally up to you. But when we draw what we've learned in Wednesday Wellness, which we still do, we heal ourselves. Art is a way of creating healing. It's a space for you to create what is within you. Every Wednesday is Wednesday Wellness. I will announce the project. I want you to show me what they look like. What it looks like to you. We are Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. Thank you for joining us. Radiate is another word. When I think of the word radiate, I think of light. How does that look when you form that on your paper? Light. It could be sunlight, it could be a light, it could be knowledge. We're going to talk about evolving, not just to sit in the conversation, but really take some points to learn from, to develop from. Because after all, many of you listen to the program. We have returnees, and no matter how small the group is, someone always comes back a second time. But we want you to get the essence, get the meaning of what it is to grow, evolve, change. What that has been like, because we are in the month of, help me out here, this month is April. How could I forget that? So we have started a new journey. You know how people say the new year they're going to do something new. We don't want you to just resolute. We want you to come into that resolution and make an effort to do something. So now it's April, January, February, March, April. 3 months. How you doing in 3 months? Many of us have fears of growing. We don't know what that looks like. But those words that I just gave you are going to emerge from you. What you think it looks like, that's the art project for tomorrow's Wednesday Wellness. I will repeat it again. But I want you to be able to change from something. Also to improve something. You know, you say change. Today is transformation. Notable changes. You know, if you are at work and, you know, you don't like your job, I want you to find something positive about the job that you're doing. Find something positive. We learn here. You say, I don't like my job. But you know, you really like the break room because there's coffee there that gives you 15 minutes to a half an hour to an hour time to go in and take a break. Find something positive. If you don't like school, I do this a lot with children, and I have noticed children in the elementary to high school age. I ask them, how's school going? And I just don't settle for good or fine. I get a little deeper in the conversation. And I'm sure that those of you who are in college can appreciate this. I ask the next question. And you know what that question is? What do you like about school? And it starts out like this. What's your favorite subject? And they'll tell me. I usually ask that to see if they're really learning something, because, you know, a lot of children will just pass by with, oh, school's okay. Oh, I like it. What do you like about school? And even if they give me recess that they like, I'm okay with that. So I want you to dig deep within yourself to find out how you're changing of something into something else. Maybe you don't like work, but now you say, there's something I like about work. I don't have to commute long hours. That's a plus. Because you see, last year you might not have said that. You might have woken up every morning to just say, I hate this job. You see how we can change something? Starting with ourselves. You parents that are listening, help your children to find something within themselves that they like, starting with school. when they come home from school, instead of asking how was their day, get to know their day. Because a lot of times children are going to tell you only the present moment. Because they're busy, they're done with school, and they want to go play. But have little conversations, not long and outdrawn. Because you'll see if they are evolving, changing. And I want to talk to you parents for a moment, because maybe your children are now in school. I know that different states have different school times. And if they're in school from September to only May, or May to, and then they get out May, summer, still June, get out in June, you want to make sure that they've changed. Why do I say that? Because as an educator, I've seen students evolve into something that they weren't before. They now love school. They weren't the children that raised their hand to get into conversations. Do you find it hard to join in conversations? Any of you out there as adults? Anybody find it hard to join in the conversations? Because we do a lot of that here at Vibe Talk. If you find it hard, can you imagine a younger mind? We must do our work too, as educators and as parents who are still educators, to help our children evolve, to help them emerge. They are seeds of growth and development. And you want to help them emerge. So the next time that you feel like you hate your job, I want you, starting tomorrow, to find something about that job that you like. Even if it were your boss's shoes. Even if it were your atmosphere is pretty chill. Find something that you like. Evolve into the best you that you could possibly do. Everybody understand? Anybody here? You understand?
Yes, I understand.
Yeah. That's for everybody. If you're getting this podcast after we're done, I want to tell you something. Start inputting how you feel, because maybe you're going to feel something. Maybe I'm touching on something. Maybe I'm gut punching something that you're already going through. You know, I have a lot of people ask me, and through the years, while I have been an educator, a lot of parents will ask me, how do I get my child to get more involved in school? Well, you have to initiate to help them to evolve. It's like watering a flower. You don't expect them automatically to just start blooming. You must do the footwork to help the flower to blossom. And we're all blossoming flowers. What would you think if I asked all of you to build yourself a garden? And I told you, because a lot of us did have this assignment where you would plant a seed, some sort of seed in a cup. And I forgot about that assignment, but I want you to start this. These things are less than $5. Get some seeds. Plant yourself a little plant. It could be anything. Do what you need to do to nurture those seeds until you see the first sight of bloom, blossom. And watch how you feel about it. That's what we can become like. Our attitudes, our mindsets, how we feel about something. Because if we're not evolving, then what are we doing? We're either growing or we're staying stagnant. So you expect from yourself change. For no one else but yourself. And so you ask yourself, what am I expecting to change? Change is inevitable because we're all going to change at some point. Maybe something that I didn't like before, I now like it. Or something that I really liked to do and was not so good for me, I've changed into something that may be a more wise choice. Much wiser choice, I should say. See, we don't stand still. We're expecting growth. But now, let me ask you a question and come a little closer. Do you expect growth from yourself? See, you should expect something from yourself. Expect something. A lot of us always expect something. I want you to start thinking about expecting from you. What do you expect from yourself? Think about that. We want you to think about today's podcast in that you will do something. What is it that you want to do? You know, you can ask a lot of young people what would they like to do. From the ages of 15 to about 20, 21. They're still in the stage of figuring it out. Because one day they want to do this and the next day they want to do that. And that's okay because they're finding themselves. We ask that you work on finding yourselves better than you were the day before. This saying, everything has to evolve or else it perishes. How can we apply that to ourselves? Everything has to evolve or else it perishes, is one quote. Do you want to grow? Do you want to water your seeds so that they become beautiful flowers, that you become beautiful flowers? You know, people that love flowers have the ability, and I've never understood this, they have an incredible ability to revive flowers. How many of you have witnessed this or heard of this?
I have. My Nana does that.
Yeah, my mother is able to do that. You look at the flower and what do you say? Before your Nana did that, what do you say about that flower?
I'm like, it's not coming back. Like, you can't save this. It's already dead.
Yeah, that flower's dead. Throw it out, right? Some of us have done that to ourselves. We say we're not useful. We say we can't be revived. Because why? Believe it or not, I have clients that feel like they are dead or want to be dead. And after working with them, they have been revived to the living state of being. They're able to make decisions. They're able to thrive and grow. So for those of you who have the incredible ability to revive a flower, imagine what you can do within yourselves. So what will you do? You have a chance. Just like that flower has a chance, because you know what? Like Trisha's saying, because I have a mother that's like that, she will give her flowers a chance. Give yourself a chance. Take the opportunity to grow and not be stumbled in your growth. Because if you're not growing, the opposite of life in a flower is to regress and not grow. Now, you will need to do the footwork. You can't just wait for someone to pour into you. And I want to say this, that many of you come to Vibe Talk, you hear my co-host and myself, you hear us in conversation, and you come here because you're waiting to be poured into. But the water does run out. And you have to be the one to refill your water. Water represents what you need to help your seedlings to blossom. Now, we're going to talk about your personal growth. My personal growth. When I decide that I want to know something, because I like knowledge. Knowledge to me helps me to improve my thoughts. I gather information up so that I can use it in everyday life. We're talking about knowledge. We're not talking about nosy. We're talking about knowledge. Because you see, the skills that I get, the way that I think and feel, it's going to be able to help me to do just that. Evolve, emerge, grow up, grow into. And with the gained knowledge that I've learned through life's navigation are possibilities and opportunities. Come a little closer. The knowledge and the information that I gain is opportunities and possibilities. Now, when you put possibility and opportunity together, they are cohesive. They work well together. They're joined together, arm in arm. Because you see, you're opening yourself up to be able to merge, grow, progress. You're taking every opportunity in life to do that. See, that's what you should expect. Opportunities. Because there are opportunities for all of us to grow. And I don't care what your age is. I've heard of people in their 80s going back to school. Literally, I read a story. Glitch, good morning and welcome. Does that inspire you? You should be inspired to take every opportunity, because every opportunity is the gate to possibilities, starting with yourself. You're possible. I'm possible. Starting with yourself. Go through that gate of endless possibility. I was talking to someone, and they said to me, I got hired on a job, and I didn't even have the skill. You know how they say that they require you to have the skill? The person lacked that. They didn't have it. But here's what they had. Possibility and opportunity. They saw an opportunity and they said, I'm possible. Their attitude spoke volumes of being possible. So right then and there, they were hired on the spot. But because of their attitude, their possibility, the employer said, we will train you. See, because it's not all about the degrees that you have much of the time. It's what you know. And sometimes who you know. So when we present ourselves in life, what are we perceived to be? Are we blossoming flowers, or are we dying off? Has life been sucked out of us and people say, nope, they're no good, that's no good? No, we stand, and this is what Vibe Talk, this is the key to Vibe Talk, to be better equipped to handle life's challenges, because they're going to come. Now, isn't it easy to emerge, to change, to grow, to mature? No, it's going to take time. But here's something that it requires on your and my part. Willingness. How many of you are willing? If you feel like you're willing to make some changes in your life, whatever they may be, I want you to write the word willing in the comments. And even if you get us after we're done with this podcast for today, Tuesday, April 18th, 2023. If you're here, I would like you to write the word willing. Because you say, if you say, I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to do these things to emerge. Willing. You're going to create in your mindset, your transformation, the thought of, I'm willing because I can. Because I can. When you're willing, consider yourself changed. Even before you go through the process, because the willing, just like the lady who didn't have the skill for the job and was hired anyway, Her attitude was willing to learn. So you have to be that one. You have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone. And that's hard for me because I hate change. I absolutely hate change. But once I'm out of my comfort zone, I find it with endless possibilities. You know, I've started this class, and boy, have I learned so much. Have I got so much to tell you guys about. Endless possibility. Why is that? Because you know what? I like to learn. Now the next thing I want you to write is learn. Learn. If you are hearing this podcast at this moment, after you've written wheeling, I want you to learn. Because wheeling and learn are cohesive too. They go hand in hand. If you're at this podcast, or if you hear this is an exercise, because when you look at the word willing and learn, you've opened up another door of opportunity, because you will always say, I'm going to grow because of this. You know, people say, I don't know what my purpose is. But are you willing to find out? Are you willing to go through every door? Every door of opportunity. Because life affords you that opportunity. And if you haven't went through door number 1, then I suggest that you think about willing and learning. You say, I've went through many doors in my life, but I didn't stop at door number 10. I've been through some doors and I've had to reopen. There's a saying, when one door closes, what's the rest of that saying? Another door opens. Are you willing to let that happen in your life so that you can grow and learn? See, being willing. Learning takes on a variety of meaning. You can learn from something. You say you make mistakes. How many of us have ever made a mistake in our life? Let me show you how this works.
I have.
Yeah. 10, 20, 30, 40, too numerous to count. That's me. But I'm willing to learn something from it. You're already evolved if you have done that process of life. Because you've learned something. And because you learn from that, you're willing to be able to share it with others the way that you all do here. Thank you for that. So now, comfort zone. Boy, I hate them. It makes me so uncomfortable. It makes me feel so uncertain. It makes me feel fear. But now, what can I adapt to in life? Good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining Vibe Talk Facing the Lions. We're talking about evolving. What are you thankful for and why, audience member? Thank you for joining us. So, when I'm willing to learn something, here's what happens. Good morning. What state are you listening in from, please and thank you? And thank you for joining Vibe Talk Interactive podcast. And we are Vibe Talk Facing the Lions. Talk about emotions, feelings. When you're willing to learn from your past, you are willing to step and learn for your future. Some of us have to let go of our old habits. Remember the thing I said, the not so good things that I may have done? See, we don't call them bad. We don't label them as something that keeps us in bondage of judgment. We say, this is the way I used to think, but now I have door of opportunity that leads to endless possibilities for me to be willing to learn. Because if you're not willing to learn, you are not willing to grow. So now, how many of you are thinking about what I'm saying right now? We're going to show you how this works. How many of you right now are thinking about what I'm saying? I'm thinking about what I'm saying.
I am.
Because I could be a wordage person. I know a lot of people that speak, and you hear them loud and clear. And sometimes I ask about those people that speak so much. Do they listen as much as they speak? See, we have to listen and be in tune with ourselves to know that we need to reflect. In fact, I just said that to someone the other day. Do you ever listen? Someone that is in my love circle. Someone that I love very dearly. Do you listen more than you talk? And see, I could stand here and you could say, Miss Nisi, you talk a lot. But now I'm changing something. I want to listen. And that's why we give you opportunity to call in. We give you opportunity to join in the conversation. But now I want you to reflect on you. Reflect upon the words that are being said and what you're going to do with those words. But in your daily life, do you reflect? Remember the 5 to 15 minute thing? How many of you are still doing that, or have you even tried to do it? 15 minutes, 5 minutes. Because it won't pour into you unless you poured into it. Always remember that. What about goal setting? Any of you have a personal goal? I have one right now. On May 12th, I will graduate the class that I'm in right now. That's my goal professionally. To graduate that class. Anybody else? If you have a goal, I want you to put it in the chat box or say it. Chime in anytime. We have a lot of readers that have come into Vibe Talk's door. People read. I'm going to ask you a twofold question. One is, why are you reading? And are you reading for yourself? Or are you reading for someone else? We live in a world of judgment, in case anybody hasn't noticed, LOL. People judge. They look at you and they judge. Without even knowing you. You've already been judged. How many of you have found that to be true?
I have.
Yeah. Want to tell us about it, Trish?
Yes, I'll tell you guys. People do that to me a lot. Like, they don't get to know me. They just look at me. It's because I have, like, a poker face. I have, like, a frowning face, and they don't get to know me. They just look at me, and they're like, yeah, I'm not talking to her. I'm going to somebody else. They have done that to me before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Judging. People have judged me. Thinking that I'm a woman, or thinking that because of a disability, can't do it. And how much more are we willing to take a look by stepping back and just observe? You know, that's a kindness. Don't you wish that people would just observe and say, well, I thought, or have you ever met someone who thought something about you that wasn't true, and then they have the audacity to tell you, I thought you were mean. Mine is always, I thought you were mean. Or they thought that I wasn't as educated as I am. It works both ways. How kind are we when it comes to judging people? Being kind and loving more. You know, what we feed ourselves is what we become. How many of you know that? Sometimes because I'm on the run, not from any law. I'm not on the run from the law. Let's get that straight right here, right now. Because my name is out there and I don't want you guys to say, oh, our life coach is on the run. In my daily life, I'm on the run when I am going from place to place. I'm not wanted, ladies and gentlemen. Because of that, I'm not taking in enough nutrients, enough water. But I have to rethink this in order to change into, emerge into healthy people. Now, I'm not a health fanatic. I don't do any of that, and my hat's off. Congratulations for everybody that's doing it. I appreciate it. But it gives me something to think about. I was talking to a friend, and I said, you know, I really need to start eating better. And so I'm choosing that for myself. How many of you hate to wake up in the morning? The older I get, the more I hate to. The older I get, the more that I hate to. How many of you feel the same way? You hate waking up early in the morning. Or when the alarm clock goes off, you hit the snooze button. And then it goes off again, you hit it again. And you might do that 3 or 4 times before you realize, I need to get up. That may be something that we need to do, you know. Sometimes we need to wake up with a goal. Maybe we're going to do something that we haven't done before. Sit by the window and watch the birds. Or do morning reflection. Whatever it is. Always set it with a goal. We used to do journaling in here. And then I got off from that. I don't know if you all still journal. Trish, are you still journaling?
No.
Yeah. I'm not journaling because life just got so busy. How about you, Trish?
I'm not journaling because I started college, and if I ever wrote something in the journal, all it will be is math problems and definitions. That's all.
Life got busy, right? Yeah. See, now we're evolving into changing. You heard me this morning change the time of Vibe Talk. And if you miss us at any time, find us on our stream, wherever your favorite podcasts are. We're there. We'd like for you more to catch us on our live, but we know that some of you are not early risers. I had a gentleman who had just missed our live and wrote in the comments, I am so sorry that I missed you guys, but that's okay because you can still interact at any time. Maybe you want to listen to us when you get up in the morning. Just saying. Do the work. Help yourself. We're about helping you with strategy. How do you come to your feelings? A lot of people share their feelings in here, and most of the time their feelings are always connected to something that happened to them, some experience they've had. What's the strategy? Well, here's our strategy to get you to talk about those feelings without placing guilt or shame. We want you to understand that. Our strategy, come a little closer, is to get you to talk about the feelings and emotions that you have because of your experience of life, so that you evolve and emerge into a better you. A better you. When was the last time you all made an excuse? How many of you have made an excuse? I did just the other day. Can't remember, but I know it was an excuse. And you know what happened? I was just faced with it. The very next 2 days. And so I made it happen. Can I tell you what the excuse was? And don't laugh at me. Or you can. You know what the excuse was? I needed to clean my floor. My kitchen floor. Let me show you how life is. And I kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And then just last night, I said I'm going to make it happen. So I cleaned the floor. Because I made so many excuses. Maybe yours is not about cleaning the floor. Maybe it's about cleaning up your life. See how that works? And you make excuses. You say, but I like the way my life is going. But I know I need to change something. But I like the way my life is. And this is why I haven't changed it. And so you begin to sound day after day like a big glop of excuses. For every excuse that you have made, you can do this as an art project too. Try 3 different colors. Paint. of paint. And for every excuse you've made, you probably would make the most beautiful picture by just putting a drop on your paper. Try that. Let me know how that goes. For every excuse known to yourself, all of you would have a different creation for every drop of paint. Because we excuse. Start making things happen for yourself. I'm also a procrastinator. I will put off things and put off things and put off things until there is no more putting off. But you know what I need to do? Act on those things. Because the more that I put them off, tomorrow never comes. Pull up your chair. The more that I put them off, procrastinate, because I am the biggest procrastinator, tomorrow never comes. Because what do we say? I'll do it tomorrow. We still have tomorrow. We still have tomorrow. Another change in Vibe Talk is we are focusing on positivity. Remember when you were in your negative mind, Trish? You wouldn't tell the audience how you felt.
I felt like I couldn't get out of it. And I also felt like positivity didn't exist. Like it was unheard of.
No possibility, right? That's what the negative mindset said. But now, when you thought about it, you did the work to be able to take the door of opportunity and possibility. And what did you find through those doors?
I found that there is a possibility and there are options.
Yeah. Possibility and opportunities. Take them. Sometimes in a life that's so judgmental, we compare ourselves to other people. How many of you have done that? You've compared yourself with somebody. Remember the thing that I said about not knowing the other person? Well, you don't know them. You don't know their struggle. They don't have enough time in the day to tell you all about the doors that they went through and came out of, and still had to be on the path to struggle to their strength. And guess what? Still haven't found their strength. You don't know about those. But yet, some of us compare ourselves with other people that we don't know. How many times do we find it hard to say, I made a mistake? Who of us? People will go around and around and around instead of just saying, I made a mistake. You know, a lot of times we will even say good morning and welcome in. Good morning and welcome, Jordan. We are talking about evolving, changing to become your best self. Jordan, our notice, asked, what state are you from? What state are you listening in from? Please and thank you. And thank you for joining Vibe Talk Facing the Lion, Virginia. So we compare ourselves. We make mistakes. How good would it feel if somebody just said, I'm sorry because of? Because today, you know what people do, and that's why you know they have a hard time acknowledging their mistake. Whenever something has happened, how many times have you heard a person say, I'm sorry? They just say, hey, I'm really sorry. You know, with my children, as they grew up, I always asked them, what were they apologizing for? And because they did not want to acknowledge what they had done, a mistake, a simple mistake, and they needed to apologize, they would never say what it was. So we started a new thing. What are you sorry for? Don't just go up to a person and say, you know, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry for, and say what it is because you are claiming it. That makes you evolve as a person. Because a lot of people can't do that. How many people find it hard to say, you know, I really messed up. I messed up. I'm starting to realize that even in my personal prayers for those of us who are praying people, I always say God can see. Jehovah God can see us from the heavens above. So let's start being honest, even in our prayers. Because he already knows. But he's not to be compared as a human, because he's always forgiving as long as we're willing to evolve, as long as we're willing to change it. For those of you who are spiritual people. How many changes have you made in your social life? Anybody? Sometimes we can spend a lot of times on Facebook. I love Facebook because I love the reels that I see. They make me cry. They make me laugh out loud. And I will spend, when I have time, more time than I need to be spending. I need to change that. We talk about mistakes and failures here. Look at them as challenges. Look at them as opportunities and possibilities. How so? Because if you learn from them, your continuing to learn is not failure. But indeed, if you can say, I have learned from that, you already have opened the door to evolving yourself. So just a few things that we want you to face. All of you, not just one of you. All of you. When we think about our life, what opportunities will you take? You probably have some right now. If I were to ask you to list opportunities, how many of you can at least have one opportunity that you now have? Because behind that opportunity is a possibility for you to grow. For you to grow and learn. But there's a key word: willing. You have to be willing. When you compare yourself to your own self, how much have you grown? There are days when you feel empowered, and there are other days where you're not feeling empowered. There are days when you feel less than instead of more of. I need you to get to that evolving point of feeling more of improvement. And it's not to find fault for you to keep a record, but it is to compare yourself, to pour into yourself, because you're in control of all your goals, of all your thought patterns, of all of your mindset. 3 things you're in control of: your goals, your mindset, how you think, how you feel. You're in charge. Yes, you. Come a little closer. That's right. I said you. You're in charge. What do you want to do about this evolving you? Some of us find it hard to be honest with ourselves, let alone being honest with other people. We are our harshest critic. Do you know your strengths and your weaknesses? See, because we need to know about ourselves. Remember the thing that I said, when you compare yourself to other people and you don't even know the struggle that they've been through or the path of walk that they've been to get to their struggle or to get to the strength from the struggle. But you want to be like them, not realizing because you don't know them, they haven't found their strength. We want you to be able to know your strengths. What I'm good at, what I'm possible of, what opportunities lie before me. Since I've done Vibe Talk, can I tell you something? I'm going to be very honest with you. There have been so many doors of opportunities. Some of those doors I have not went through. Because, you see, my job is not done here. I'm on a national podcast. Some of you need to still hear me. So, if I balance that out, I will start. Because I'm willing to go through the job of opportunity, but I have to find balance. And that's my honesty. So sometimes we have to change things. We have to move things around in order to take those doors of opportunity and possibilities. Here's a thought. Have you ever had a project that you said, I intend to finish this project? I don't know, home improvement, art piece, photography, school. You are your own masterpiece. You are a work of art. Never stop working on yourself. You know, some people have said, good morning and welcome. Where are you listening in from? What state, please, and thank you. Thank you for joining Vibe Talk Facing the Lions. Find and follow our page. You'll be glad you did, and I'll be glad you did, my co-host and I. Good morning. Now, how many times has someone ever said, they're a piece of work? How many times have you said that? You know, they are a real piece of work. You know what you do? Be glad that someone thinks of you. Because you see, that piece of work that you are can be a masterpiece. Good morning, Gabby. Where are you listening in from, please, and thank you. We are Vibe Talk Facing the Lion. podcast. Trinidad. Thank you so much, Trinidad. We love to have you guys with us. We're an interactive podcast. Find and follow us on your social medias, and we also are a stream podcast. And we want to say thank you to our sponsors, Spotify and iHeartRadio. And wherever you're getting your podcast, just look for us, Vibe Talk Facing the Lion Podcast, and hashtag Vibe Talk Facing the Lion Podcast. You're from Florida, actually. Okay. Thank you for that. So your being a piece of work means that you can master your own art and improve yourself, your skills, and your possibilities. Just remember that. I'm going to turn it over to Trish's Treasures. Trish?
I guess I'll start off with the states that are in here today.
Thank you, Gabby. Thankful for health and her son. Thank you for joining us. Stay with us on this Transformation Tuesday. Go ahead.
Okay. The states that were in here today were Texas, Montana, Virginia, South Carolina, Palmdale, California, and Trinidad. Something that happened to me this Sunday was we were playing dodgeball, and I haven't played dodgeball in a while because of what happened to me when I was around 7, because I just remember the gigantic dodgeball that hit me, and I don't want to relive that. So this Sunday, I had to change my mindset a little bit because I wanted to have fun. And yes, it was traumatic for what happened to me when I was 7, but I still wanted to have fun. So what I had to do was change my mindset, and I had to say to myself, okay, do I want to have fun, or do I want to be afraid of playing dodgeball the rest of my life? And that takes a lot for people to do, to face their fears and to get rid of their trauma and what triggers them. So you have to want to change in order to change. And when you evolve, when you transform, there will be more opportunity to transform again, because we all change every year, every month, because we're all discovering something about ourselves, something new.
Thank you for that. As you all know, Vibe Talk is all about change. If this is your first time here, can you guys just put in the comment as you're listening, it's your first time? We're live on Facebook right now. If this is your first time, let this be your door of opportunity of how you challenge yourself to become a person of improvement, working on yourself constantly, not picking on yourself because of fault finding, because we don't want you to do that. We're all pieces of artwork that can be turned into wonderful masterpieces. I've saw it. I've seen the work that I've done with people. I've seen the work on myself. When you are awakened to awareness, you are consciously aware of things. You can't go back to being the person you once were. You begin to grow and emerge. You remember those words I used before? Emerge, progress, go forth. That means that you are taking a leap into finding yourself. Once you do that, you will be evolved and you give evidence of your change. Knowing who you are, knowing what you want, believing that you are in control of yourself. No one else can make you. No one else is in control of you. Oh yeah, that thing called life, your life, starts when you begin to say, I'm starting a new chapter in my life. Transformation. Yeah. Making adjustments in your life, simplifying your life. Life does not have to be so complicated. I love experiences. I love my experience with people. I learn people, they learn me. I love this saying, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Life is not complicated. Your life is what you make it. Possibility, opportunity. Your goals, setting goals, making it happen. Remember, we make it happen. You make it happen. Once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. You're in control of you. As you evolve, you start attracting the right people in your life. You get rid of the toxic, whether it's friend, family, or foes. You're going to change the way that you were because now you're going to attract all the right people in your life. I love this saying. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Your life is your teacher. Come a little closer. Are you ready to hear me out? I said, your life is your teacher. Remember we talked about expectation? You expect something, right? We all live in it in expectation of something, someone. But now I want you to turn it to yourself. How much do you expect from yourself? Opportunities will present themselves. You will experience things in your life. Sometimes we get disconnected from ourselves. Much of the time, more times than we ever think. But now I want you to look into yourself deep within and expect to get connected. Expect to know who you are and what you stand for. You know that 5 to 15 minutes? Here's an experience. There's this person that lives 5 minutes from their office. But now she chooses to drive 45 minutes to commute. She doesn't have to. She lives 5 minutes away from her job. But why is she doing that? Because you know that 5 to 15, she takes 45 minutes to be able to create a space to think. When you think about your life, however you're doing it, again to the praying people, when I drive in my car, I like to pray. I think communication with Jehovah God is so important. When I'm in my car, I'm talking in prayer to Him. And if that's the only 15 minutes that I'm going to get of solitude, then I'm going to make it my best. Now that's for the praying people. And it's okay if you're not a praying person, no judgment. We're here to simply say reflect. Because when you reflect and when you are evolving in your life, you're going to have breakthroughs and inspirations. How many times have you had that in your life where you say, aha, that's what I'm going to do? If you haven't had it, drive a little longer, like that lady did. 5 minutes from her job, but she set aside 45 minutes. She didn't have, 5 minutes living, that's a blessing. And it takes you 5 minutes to get to your job. And yet you're going to set aside time to be able to reflect in your space. Some of us need to do that. I hope that you all find the time to change something in your life. Vibe Talk, Facing the Lion podcast. Hashtag it in your Google. We want you to find it. We want this to be the podcast, the #1 podcast that is going to help you to face that fear that Trish was talking about. Some of us fear our own selves. Some of us fear the unknown, while others know what the fear is and refuse and are unwilling to take the doors of opportunity and possibility. What are we fearing? To talk about it? That's what Vibe Talk is all about. Talking about how you feel. If you're getting this podcast, just tell us where you're from. We want you, ladies and gentlemen, to change something, evolve, bloom into, emerge. Some of the most beautiful flowers come from the darkest places. Sometimes when I'm in the grocery store, I go over to most of the time it's going to be right in your face, but sometimes they're at the back of the store. Go to the flower part. If there is nothing that you do today, I want you to walk in your local store and just take a look at those beautiful flowers. All of those flowers are doors of opportunities and possibilities. For if no one seeded them and nurtured them, what hope would there be to revive them? All of them are arrayed in color, mixed colors. It's just so beautiful. One of the most beautiful things are flowers among many. I want you to think about that, and the Creator who created that, what He wants for you. He didn't create the flowers simply for nothing, but we enjoy them. Try that out. Also, it's healing for me to look at the variety of flowers. There's a variety of you, all of you out there. You are without a doubt endless possibility and opportunity. I want to thank you, Trish, for joining me. Next week, we will be moving to the 6 o'clock hour for the West Coast. 6:30, I should say. Trish, what time will that be for you on the East Coast?
9:30.
9:30. We're moving. See, we're evolving. We don't go away, we just evolve. We want to thank all of you for joining in our podcast, live and interactive. We are on Facebook Live. Thank you for coming into Vibe Talk Facing the Lion. And thank you, audience member who just came in. We want you to still be thinking about ways that you can grow and emerge to become the beautiful flowers that you are. All over the world, Tricia and I thank you for this. We're finding that people who know about us, we had somebody here from Trinidad. It's a long way from us, but yet people find us. That's why we are here. I know that every day that I think about Vibe Talk, my work is not done. We have blossomed. See, our message is the same, but our way of giving it is changing. We will always have the podcast. Whether you have it 1 time, 2 times, we're always here. But sometimes we got to change up things. We've been 5:30 a.m. for a long time. I'm getting older. And with age, sometimes 5:30 is early. But never fear, you're going to get Vibe Talk. This one, I would like to see on YouTube, if at all possible, because I think it has such power. I'm asking the last and final question before we see you all off on this Transformation Tuesday. What did you learn and discover in today's podcast, and how did it make you feel? We turn to Trish for her comment.
What I've learned today, I learned I had so many chances and options to change and evolve. Just like there's so many flowers and so many kinds of dogs, so many kinds of cats, so many kinds of ice cream. I have so much options in life to choose from and to change. My experience today, my experience today was it was evolving. It's motivating me to make possible change.
You're going in and out. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
The last part, I didn't hear you clearly. So I want to make sure the audience can hear you clearly.
I said I have possible changes to make.
Everything is possible. I think the greatest thing that I've learned here today was, even when I am a piece of work, I'll always be a piece of work, because I want to be a art masterpiece. I want to be able to look inside myself and say, I know why that is. Starting with me. Although that's true, I am a piece of work. I want to be an art piece. Masterfully skilled. So I'm going to take away from this podcast that I'm willing to do the work. And that's where we have to start from. The questions that we're asking in here, if you're getting it on your streams, go ahead and answer that. And we're working on our project for Wednesday Wellness. Okay. And when we work on our project, we want you to turn those words that I read off, and I'll repeat them again tomorrow on Wednesday Wellness. I will repeat them. We want you to turn that into artwork. How would you describe it in that picture? Because everybody's is going to be different. Play along with us. You'll find yourself healing at peace. Let that be your 5 to 15 minutes. If you all are still doing that. Thank you, Trinidad. Thank you, Texas. Who else was in South Carolina? Palmdale, California, also known as the Antelope Valley. Thank you. And who else, Trish? Virginia, thank you.
Montana.
And Montana. We appreciate the audience members who come in. And if you don't get a chance to listen to us at our live, don't worry, we're on YouTube. You'll find this one today. Please, Trish, on YouTube. We want to be posting at least one of our podcasts new for you on YouTube and on our podcast sponsors. Wherever you get your podcast, wherever you're listening. We won't beg you, but we know that you will make change in your life. Thank you for this Transformation Tuesday. Please join us on Wednesday Wellness, and we will be changing our time next week. We'll announce it again tomorrow. Tomorrow, for your assignment, if you have art, pencils, paint, bring all of that, because that's the time where we do expression through art, expressing emotion through art. Some people like that part of the program. We'll be announcing too what we want to do with our group, because we want to form a group where we feel that many people need that support. So we're a podcast, but we're also a support group for you. And we're going to be doing that virtually. I am working on a physical place that you can walk in and make an appointment. I'm in the process of doing that now. So that is my goal and door of opportunity for year 2024. We'll be talking about that. Thank you all for joining us. Trish, thank you so much for co-hosting with me. 2 are better than 1. And there is no I in team. Thank you so much for joining Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. We wish and hope for you more change to change your life. Expect that. Expect that.